Shabbat shalom, everybody. It's nice to see this huge crowd here live, intimate, but with lots of energy. And this is our rock and roll service. So we're going to start with Jimi Hendrix and Hine Matov, and then Rabbi Van Morrison's What a Wonderful Night for Shabbos. That was the original words. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bim bam, here we go. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Your turn. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Hey, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. What a wonderful night for Shabbos. Stars up in the sky. What a wonderful night for our families. Everyone tonight. First we'll light the candles, then we'll drink the wine, then we'll eat the challah. What a fine Shabbat time. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. What a wonderful night for Shabbos. Stars up in the sky. What a wonderful night for our families getting together on a special night. First we light the candles, then we'll drink the wine, then we'll eat the challah. What a fine Shabbat time. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. I can hear you. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. One more time. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
All right. Rock and roll Shabbat.
Yes.
What a pleasure for those of you who are here, those who are still home. And by the way, those of you at home and still thinking about, like, should I go to service or should I not? So I just want you to know got a large enough area you can feel safe to the side. We encourage masks, but those of you who don't want to don't have to. So we got something for everybody here. So we're just feel blessed to be able to be together. And Chaz, I know you have some special music tonight.
Oh, yes, there's some that is original, some that's Jimi Hendrix, maybe a little bit of Dylan thrown in there, maybe. Yeah, we're going to do some Dylan, yeah.
Should we start with Shalom Aleichem?
I think it's a good one.
All right,
Okay.
why don't we rise together, please? You know the words of join along. You can find it also on page 5 in the Sim Shalom if you want to follow. If not, just join along and sway. Shalom Aleichem.
1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachi Hashare. Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech. Malachi Hamlachim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi HaMachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Seitchem Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi HaMachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, guitar man, here we go. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaShare, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Here we go.
You may be seated. Hey, Friedman family, you're into music, right? I think I saw when we were Zooming together, I think there's a guitar in that room that I saw or something there. I think so. It's great to see the kids. You can be seated. We're going to continue on page 11 with Lechun Neranana. This is not rock and roll, I believe.
It's African.
African.
It's
So
African.
and later, so by the way, the influence from the African American melodies into rock and roll, absolutely.
Yes.
And I look forward to hearing what you're going to do with this one.
Okay.
As I always am. Page 11.
This is actually from the Abayudaya from Uganda, and with the way they do it is. Like that, but we do it like this. Lechun Neranana. You'll find it on that page with the red. In the red, I think you can find the words. Here we go. Lechun Neranana l'Adonai Nariah Litzor Yishaynu Litzor Yishenu, Lechu Neranena, L'Adonai, Nariah, Litzor Yishenu, Litzor Yishenu, Litzor Yishenu, Nekat Mafana Bitoda Bizmirot, Narialon, Nekat Mafana Bitoda Bizmirot, Narialo, Lechu, Lechu Leranena, L'Adonai, Nariah, Litzor Yishenu, Litzor Yishenu, 40 shana akud bedor, ve'omar am to'e levavahem. 40 shana akud bedor, ve'omar am to'e levavahem. Lechu, lechu neranena, L'Adonai, Nariah, Litzor Yishenu, Litzor Yishenu, Litzor Yishenu.
On page 16, you'll find as part of Kabbalat Shabbat, which really is welcoming of Shabbat, getting ready for Shabbat. That's what you have to do. You have to get ready for Shabbat. That's why we light candles. That's why we recite blessings to transform our lives in the moment to one of holy time. And so page 16, we're going to continue with Or Zarua. You'll find it fourth line from the bottom in the Hebrew, and also on the transliterated side, fourth line from the bottom.
All right, you get your reggae on. Here we go. Or zaru el atzadik ule yisrael simcha. Or zaru el atzadik ule yisrael simcha. Simchu tzadikim badonai lehodu lezecher kodsho. Or zaru el atzadik ule yisrael simcha. Or zaru el atzadik ule yisrael simcha. Simchu tzadikim l'Adonai lehodu lezecher kodsho. Try it, lie with me, all right? The words are easy. Ya la 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 oh oh. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Light is sown. Light is sown for the righteous and the upright of heart. Light is sown for the righteous and the upright of heart. Simchu tzadikim Adonai vehodu lezecher kodsho. Lai, here we go one more time. La 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 la. Simchu tzadikim badonai vehodu lezecher kodsho. One more time, here we go. Ya la 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 la.
Page 23, Lechadodi. We're going to welcome in the Shabbat bride. So we're going to begin the first stanza on page 23. And then when we turn the page to page 25 for the final stanza, at that time we'll rise. We'll give you a signal how to do that. Turn toward those doors in the back. And the final words, we bow, boichala, welcoming in that Shabbat bride. We'll remain seated for now as we begin together.
All right. So this is a doo-wop. Right? So if anybody feels the urge to boom, 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 don't be shy. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi. Likrat kala. Boom, boom, boom. Pnei Shabbat. Nekavela. Badu, badu. Lecha Dodi. Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Try it again. Lechaludi likrat kala ba-boom ba-boom b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechaludi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקווה דודי. לך דודי לקראת kala b'nei Shabbat neka. Please stand
together, face the door.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emune am segula. Boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala ba-boom ba-boom b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela.
Can face back forward. We're going to remain standing, page 39A. For the Baruch Hu, the official call to prayer.
The first part uses lie, lie, lie. So join with us, but with a little Jimi Hendrix influence. 2, 3, 4. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Here we go. Your turn. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lie, lie, lie. Here we go. here we are. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
You may be seated. Elon, I think Elon's ready for Woodstock back there. I think totally into it. If those of you, if you want to join with me in the reading on the left-hand side of 39A on the bottom part, you can join along with me. Feel free. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away and stars spin in their orbits. Together, if you want, you set the rhythms of day and night, the alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest, eternal, everlasting God. May we always be aware of your dominion. Blessed are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall. We're going to continue on page 40, Ahavat Olam.
Anybody a Beatles fan? No, the Beatles wrote this song called Love, Love, Love. And Ahavat Olam is a love song about how God's love for us gives us the Torah and mitzvot and all these wonderful things. And so, what better song to sing Ahavat Olam? Go ahead. Love, 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 Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Ahavta, Ahavat Olam, here we go. Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, love, 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 Ahavat Olam, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, lemadeta, everybody now, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, love, 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 Ahavat Olam, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אהבת עולם, אהבת עולם. Everybody now. אהבת עולם, אהבת עולם, love, 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 אהבת עולם.
about love now transitions into the Shema, in which we affirm love of God, life itself. Those of you who wish to close your eyes on these first 6 words of the Shema, I invite you to do so as we hold on and reflect on that oneness. Together we join.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
We continue silently on page 42.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 44, מי כמוך.
2, 3, 4. מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה תהילות אוסף אלף מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה תהילות אוסף אלף מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה תהילות אוסף יפדה אדוני את יעקב ויעלו מיד חזק ממנו מיד חזק ממנו מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה תהילות אוסף אלף אוסף אלף אוסף אלף Yisrael.
That was nice. Brielle, nice job on that clapping there. Did a great job. And we're going to continue with a prayer for healing. So just not found in our prayer book, but I just want you, I'm sure you all know somebody who's dealing with an illness, right? Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether they're dealing with eating disorders or addiction. I mean, we all know people who are dealing with these issues of life. And so this is a time to be able to send out prayers to them, to yourself. Tonight, I'm thinking of congregants of Mark, who's not doing so well, just went on hospice care, and Sarah, still battling cancer, and so many other of our congregants. I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. Picture the people, including yourself, you wish to send prayers and healing. Those of you at home can do this as well. Just close your eyes and think about all those who are in need of our prayers. Just hold on to that picture for a moment, and then we're going to start the prayer together.
Rifa'enu Adonai v'nei Rapha. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones. Heal our people speedily in our day. Benoma, amen. Please join us. Refa'enu Adonai v'nei Rapha. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones. Heal our people speedily in our day. And let us say,
Thank you, Kelly Stein, for joining in with us. We're going to continue page 45, Hashkivenu.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzedkeinu uvoeinu לחיים ושלום, ואתה ועד עולם. Here we go, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Ufros Aleinu. Ufros Aleinu, Sukat Shelomecha. Ufros Aleinu, Sukat Shelomecha. Just you guys. Hashkivenu Eloheinu Leshalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lech. Small but powerful. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim.
I want to share for a couple minutes a subject of which I am completely unqualified to talk about. Right, I'm just going to make that clear. Of all the things that I know in my repertoire of knowledge of Judaica and history, I know nothing about music. I know nothing. Not only can't I sing, I know nothing about music itself. I have no, it's interesting. I know. I apologize. That's why I hang around people like you, decided to inspire me. So I decided, though, to read up a little bit about rock and roll. I mean, you've been doing this service for a lifetime, it feels like here, and I decided, let me look up some things about rock and roll, and it's particularly about Jewish influence on rock and roll. So I learned there are two periods of rock and roll, by and large, in terms of the music itself. From 1955 to 1965 is seen as the first period. Like, you can think about it in terms of more of the clean-cut type of people who were singing. And I don't know, Jerry Lee Lewis, I don't know if you call him, him. That was as crazy as you got in those days. Elvis Presley and others. And 55 to 65. And then 65 to 75 ends up a whole different genre. By the way, you have heavy rock, right? You have light rock, easy rock. You have all different types, and it's amazing, to think about the diversity of it. And when it came to Jewish influence, by the way, it was in the first period that Jews were actually much more involved. And I was reading, and some of it was, by the way, the relations that the Jewish community had with the African American community. Right, that more than any other, they were an oppressed people who found common place in terms of the American condition. They often lived, by the way, in areas that were outside, and in terms of where, I don't want to say in terms of ghettoization, but lived in those neighborhoods, and sometimes near each other. And so many of the early writers and others who are Jewish were influenced by those connections, and they talk about it. It's really something to think about. When you think about, by the way, Jewish songwriters, let's go with Jewish singers, right? Who would you think of? Who?
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. Okay, thank you, Neil Diamond. Paul Simon. What about Robert Zimmerman?
Yeah, he's a woo.
Right, Bob Dylan, right? A.k.a. Robert Zimmerman. What about Carol Klein? Otherwise known as Carole King. Right, by the way, I found out, I never knew this about, she dated Neil Sedaka in high school. They went to the same high school.
Wow.
And she met Paul Simon when she was still in high school. And there's some question about whether they were the same high school or not, but apparently they recorded together while she was in high school, and later on were at, I think, Queens College together. It's amazing, these people who were, and very often
Yes.
Jews who were singing together. By the way, Lou Reed is another famous Jewish singer, Leonard Cohen, of course. Right, who had deep impact in terms of writing. Gene Simmons of Kiss. Okay. Billy Joel. So maybe like the impact that you had. But by the way, not much, I mean, that's really the extent of Jewish involvement, which is pretty significant. But it, managers, of course, in terms of, especially in the rock and roll period one, they were deeply involved. And the most, I just want to just mention, like in terms of writers, that's really apparently where the biggest mark was made in the period, the first period between 55 and 65. There were writers, and some of you, Chaz, you may know these people like Jerry Lieber, Mike Stoller, Doc Pomus, Jerry Wexler, Jerry Rogaway, and later became the very infamous Phil Spector. Right? Very famous early on in terms of rock and roll music. Clearly, he didn't survive that period well, but it was Lieber and Stoller who actually wrote amongst their really most popular. They did a number of popular ones. Wrote Hound Dog. But they didn't write it, by the way. It was originally written for an artist, black blues singer named Willie Mae Thornton, and didn't become famous, of course, until Elvis Presley picked it up and turned it into, in terms of what we know today. It's really amazing. Hans, is there anything else that I mentioned you earlier if you wanted to share about?
Thank you very much. Well, I was there for the rock opera, the rock operas that were on Broadway. I mean, I was in Jesus Christ Superstar, a nice Jewish story. But I was in the original cast and had hair and with people like Meatloaf and he was part of the cast and a lot of very famous rock and rollers. But Bob Dylan, we went to see Bob Dylan last night and he was really good. But I went to see him one time at Hurdy-Gurdy's Folk City, and I was hanging out with Roger McGuinn at the time, the 12-string guitar player from the Byrds, and he said, I walked past him, and he was singing that night, because it was an anniversary of that 10-year anniversary of that place, early 70s, and I looked at him, and he looked at me. I couldn't say a word. I couldn't say a single word. We just nodded at each other. And he went.
Just starstruck.
Just starstruck. I've never been so starstruck. That was really great.
Well, we love what you do in terms of taking all different genres of music, including rock and roll, and making them, like bringing the Jewish fusion into it and just making it feel so organic. So tonight, celebration of rock and roll. We're going to continue with the Shamru, which you'll find on page 46. And this is not a rock and roll melody.
Well, it's the melody that we know, but we're doing it Stray Cat style, not K-A-T-Z. No.
Got it.
No, okay. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Try it. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael od hi le'olam, od hi le'olam, od hi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru
ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
חצי קדש.
1, 2, 3. יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה אמן. בעלמא יברכימותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמירה, יהי שמירה במבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. אמן. One more time. וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלוהים כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעולמה ואיברו אמן. אמן. אמן.
We rise for the Amidah, page 47.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfotai Tiftach. Na da da ba 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 ba. Na 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 Ufi Yagi. Ufi Yagi Tehilateh.
you're finished, you may be seated.
Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha V'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 1, 2. Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam V'tov B'einecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chol leil u'b'chol sha'ah B'shlomecha Shalom Rav Shalom Rav Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon, Lecho HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, Lecho HaShalom. All right, Sam, let's hear that guitar. B'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol leil u'b'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha V'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam, oh yeah, Tasim Le'olam, Tasim
Shout out to Sammy Hagar Cohen down there. Like, that was great. Page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגלה ויגלה שמר הבא ואמר דברי חילותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי אחרון וימי וחיי לכל בית ישראל אבי זמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמרה במבורך לעלם לעמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ותרומה ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלב ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לאל מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ותשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן תתקבל צלותו נבורו לכל בית ישראל קודם ובהוד ושמיה ויאמרו אמן יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן
lines for Kiddush, page 55. You want Bob to do?
Yeah, Bob, would you like
Bob, would you like
to
do this Kiddush?
bench
Come on.
Kiddush for us? Thank you. We'll find your key. Or maybe not.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafel.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher
Kishanu b'mitzvotav
v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho
Be'ahava u'ratzon
Inchilanu Zikaron Lemase Bereshit Ki hu Yom Techila Lemikra Kodesh
Zecher L'tziat Mitzrayim
Ki banu bacharta Viltanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha V'ahava u'ratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
You can drink all the grape juice you like there, Bob. We're going to remain standing for Aleinu on page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, מושב יקרו בשמיים יבעט, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומי. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס סעודתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל והארץ והארץ מתחת. אין עוד, אין עוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. This time of memorial, we're calling reverence the yard sites, those who have been gathered unto their people. On this Shabbat, we remember Walter Bronson, Avi Birkenfeld, Max Harold Bushman, Robert Davis, Randy Fields, Rose Passon Frankel, Yoav Friedman, Bessie Geller, Beverly Ann Ginsburg, David Goldberg, Rose Goldstein, Julia Greifer, Benjamin Greifer, David Hadar, Bryna Jabkowski, Reva Jackson, Francis Jacobson, Irving Kaftal, Sylvia Kleinman, Murray Kleinman, David Lavin, Ed Leventhal, Hugh Manis, Kenneth Robert Mitchelson, Shirley Nisnick, Faye Perlman, Mildred Pikus, William Rosenberg, Abraham Rottenstein, Paul Saltzman, Sidel Schultz, Abraham Schwartz, Winifred Schwartzbach, Sarah Seligman, Flor Shakiban, Esther Silver, Sam Skolsky, Henry Skurnick, Wolf Suchot, Harry Abraham Spector, Francis Stone, Helene Tanneman, Mark Tarasau, Harold Thorne, Paul Vinitsky, Helen Wagman, Meyer Weinreich, Bernice Zigman, Elizabeth Rothenberg, Loretta Gottfirst, Seymour Cohn, and Lillian Cohn. We're also mindful of the recent bereavement in our community. We mourn the passing of Sonia Sokoler, longtime member, mother of Neil and Rosalind Sokoler, and Kenneth and Ardith Sokoler, and Nancy and Neil Steiner. For those who have need or desire to recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 58, you're invited to rise at this time. And if you're at home and we are your sacred minyan, your sacred community to recite these words of affirmation, of life, in memory of those we love, you can rise as well. Page 58, Mourner's Kaddish, we join together. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah. Amen. V'almad divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala uv'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah v'barach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach, Yishabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yit'aleh, Yithalal, Shemei Dekudesha, Brichu, Le'ela, Min Kol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran, B'alma, V'meru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'meru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. May God who establishes his peace in the heavens grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity. We say, Amen. You may be seated. So nice to share with everybody on this Shabbat. Rock and roll is beautiful music to the father and son team. It's not usually the Steins, but now we got the Cohens coming there.
I'm
all
telling
right?
you.
David and Sammy
I gotta have
Hagar
more
Cohen. What'd you say, Hans?
I have to have more kids.
Yeah. It was really beautiful. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we begin our Shachri service, and we are going to bid a fond farewell to our own Rabbi Shana Galko, who is heading off to New York. And we will also be celebrating her Ufruf tomorrow with her husband-to-be, Ben Zosner. We look forward to celebrating that tomorrow. So all of you are invited back. And those of you who are watching, come on by tomorrow. Just drop by, and we're going to join together for Kiddush lunch afterwards and be a beautiful, fond farewell. We're going to miss her deeply, that's for sure. Next Shabbat, next Friday night, we have a Friday night service at 7 p.m. We're going to be celebrating the Ufruf of Lindsay Roberts and Jesse Kroll. And we're looking forward to acknowledging their forthcoming marriage. And then that Shabbat next week, we're going to celebrate the B'nai Mitzvah of Auden and Asher Gorin. So we look forward to celebrating with them. Chaz, anything else you would like to acknowledge?
No, I'm just glad to be here.
You're glad to be here. God bless you. We're going to, what would you like to finish this service with?
Adon Olam.
Adon Olam.
Have you heard of that?
It's worked since Rambam, Maimonides, why not? Let's rise together, please.
Okay.
All right. What page is that on? I don't know.
211.
211. All right.
Here we go.
He did not sing it to that melody, though.
Adon Olam Asher Bala בטרם כל יצירה לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו להכבירה. בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. לי בחי גואלי, וארחם לי בעת צרה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא. והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וסורכב לי בעת צרה. ואם הוא הגיעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. אדון עולם אשר בטרם כל יציר. It's somewhere in here. Yeah. ויעדו אף כי רוחי בעת אישן ועירה. ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא. All right, guitar man, here we go. Clap your hands, yeah, on 2 and 4. Shabbat shalom, 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 umevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, shalom. Yeah. Woohoo! Woohoo! That was fun. That's what threw me, I think. I think that's what threw me. I got lost in after that. I couldn't remember anything. Hey man, that was great. That was so much fun. What's that?